Good morning. This is Maria Quattrone with Be the Solution podcast, and welcome my guest, Dionne Malush from Pittsburgh. Good morning, Dionne.
Good morning, Maria.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I am fantastic this morning. Want to get right into the thick of things in just a minute.
I wanted to be in a business that I did not have a ceiling. Take a pen and a piece of paper, draw a line, draw another line next to it. At 365 days, if you drew 365 lines, you started here with one line, but look how far you've come.
That's pretty cool.
Thanks. Good morning. Great to see you, my friend.
It's been a long time. I really miss talking to you for sure.
Yes, it has been a little bit. There's been a lot going on.
Sure has.
So welcome to the show. Dionne's from Pittsburgh, and she is the broker owner of Realty One Group Gold Standard. Is that right?
That's right.
And also the owner of Modern Mortgage Keystone, and we insure. And you have a title company?
We do have a title company, Gold Standard Closings.
Excellent. So you have four businesses running simultaneously. How's that going?
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy, and we also have rental properties too. So we have a rental portfolio that we're working on for our future. And I actually own a little Christmas store in my town. So yeah, on top of everything else, I have that.
I know that's your passion, the Christmas store, right?
Yeah, I love it. I just love the way people treat each other during the holidays. I wish I could bottle that up and sell that, because I think I'd be a multi-millionaire if I could do that. But
I love that too.
Yeah, so it's just something to just kind of, it's like a stress-free part of my life just during the holidays, that I could just go there and not have to worry and think about everything else that's going on. Because as you know, of all people, that real estate, mortgage, title and insurance, there's a lot of stress. It's not always the easiest business, even though HGTV makes it look easy. It's not so easy, but it is fun and fulfilling.
Well, you know what we say in my office? We say scooping ice cream has problems. I'd rather be selling real estate.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good one.
Right, because I was at the ice cream store, and I don't usually eat ice cream, but I was with my little nephew and my mom and Chip and my girlfriend Megan, and they ran out. You won't believe it. They didn't have the proper size cups, and they were panicking. They had like a little tiny cup and then bigger cups. So I said, well, I don't want the extra small. I want a small. Oh no, I wanted the small, and they gave me the small, extra small I wanted, and they gave it to me in a medium cup.
Nice.
And so I'm thinking they're panicking behind the counter. How they don't have enough cups. They ran out of something else. And then I don't think there were napkins or something. It was crazy.
Really? It's crazy the things that are happening in the restaurant industry.
This was during the summer. And then I thought, well, it's better to have problems in real estate than scooping ice cream.
Yeah. I guess we all have problems. I don't know. It's been a crazy couple of years, no doubt.
I read something this morning that one of my mentors wrote, and it was talking about how we're so much more alike than we are different. And we all have not so many problems, but we all have problems. And instead of like hiding them, bring them to the surface and be vulnerable and be humble and connect with people on that, instead of like everybody's, hiding and, oh my God, are they going to judge me? I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, extremely. A little bit familiar.
Anyway, so here we are. It's February already, 2022. And I wanted to ask you, how did you get into business? How did you end up in real estate?
Geez, so I didn't plan on it. I actually had a business prior to real estate. I went to art school when I was right out of college. Right out of high school. Went to Art Institute, and then I got a few jobs, and I realized that I wasn't the right person to have a job. And I just didn't like people telling me what to do. So that kind of gave me an indication that this was not the right thing. So I decided very early on that I was going to start my own business. So I started a graphic design, screen printing, embroidery, promotional products business. And I ran that pretty hard for 17 years. And year 16, I got into a partnership and it was a disaster. And one of my partners worked at a local hospital. That's where I had met him. And it was going great. We were doing good. It was 2004, 2000, around 2003, I think. And he decided after getting let go of his job that he wanted to come into the company and he needed to make his same salary. So we were just partnered a year in, and for us to take a salary on like that meant we had to get rid of half of our staff. So I can clearly remember the day when my partners and I stood and we told half the staff that they were getting laid off and the other half would decrease their salary in order to help him. So the very next day, I
That
left.
doesn't sound like a good partnership.
Yeah, it was bad. So I left and I gave him my 90 days notice, and on day 89, I took myself and about 10 guys and a couple of trucks, and we went and cleared the place out. So I put my foot down, and they called the police. It was kind of interesting, but the police are like, she owns the company, so there's not much you can do. It's her company, so if she wants to take her stuff, she takes her stuff. So I kind of knew all of that going in, but that day I realized, this was everything to me. I worked 17 years to build this, and just like that, it was breaking down. So I needed to have something in my back pocket. So I just thought, well, maybe I'll get into real estate and do it part-time. And I realized in my second year of real estate that I made as much as I had in my 17th year of my graphic design business. So I'm thinking, wow, how cool is this? I can combine and marry real estate and graphic design, because hardly anybody 17 years ago had any creativity at all. Canva wasn't out there. People didn't even know how to use Microsoft Word. So the fact that I had that skill and talent helped me, to get ahead in the market in Pittsburgh. So that's kind of how I got into it. I didn't mean to, but I'd always had an interest in it. But when I had a graphic design business, it just didn't work because I was doing really well. So that's how that started.
So what year was that?
2003.
So
I got my license in 2004.
So 2004, you enter in and you're part-time and you're like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like this industry. What was it like? How'd you feel?
It was unique. I actually worked for a company that was really family oriented. So right at that point, I went into this company. They became like my family, and I was there for 5 years, and we were really close. And so I loved the idea of real estate, that you're independently operating, but you still had a backup, someone to go to and talk to when you had issues. You weren't just out there all by yourself. That's something that I think is very smart on the real estate side, that you have to have a broker. You can't just independently start your own company. You're dealing with a lot of money and a lot of people's biggest financial, part of their life. And if you don't have someone to fall back on, it's difficult. And that's one thing I think we pride ourselves in as a company, is making sure that our agents have that. But anyway, so yeah, it was pretty interesting. And I was growing, not to record paces, but, for someone that had no idea about real estate and is a graphic designer, which is totally kind of opposite, the kind of creative brain side, it was interesting for sure. And my marketing really helped, and it kind of put me out in a crowded marketplace, and I stood out.
So you used your skills from the past, brought them forward. So now you're 5 years in, you're at this great family company. Then what?
Oh, then I made a couple of choices to go to, one of the big box companies made me a offer to join their company, and they kept making it over and over again. And finally I negotiated a nice bonus, and then I left. And that started me on a path of different companies and realizing that I just couldn't find the right fit for me. And it was a lot of things where they say and not do. And that really bothered me. And to be honest with you, I think God actually put me on this path so that I could learn as much as I could. So when I had my own company, that I knew what I was up against. So I made some changes, but I was still successful in it. So each year I was doing better and better. A lot of people would say if you change in a company, you're not going to do as well, and that's definitely not true. It's about you, not really the company. It's nice to have a good company behind you, but I was the worker, and I remember my old broker at that point said something it's now today we will laugh at is he's like, you'll never be successful working at home. You have to be in the office every day. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I can work wherever. I'm very good at working alone. I don't need to have people around me. Now here, COVID and everyone's working at home. So, the thing that 15 years ago they didn't think was going to happen, now it's just we hardly have anyone ever coming into the office anymore. So
No people? No people come in?
Oh, I mean, we don't have a lot, but not as many as I would like. We have close to 200 agents, and we probably see the same 10 to 15 all the time. So, yeah, it's really a big difference than it was a couple of years back.
I'm sure, just because of the current situation. But I
Yes,
think it's going to change. I think we're going to get back to a little bit normalcy.
me too. I really feel some things are going to be happening soon. It's going to be to our benefit for sure.
Absolutely. So tell me, so you go from here, you go from there. How did you end up where you are now?
Wow. So I had no intention of doing this, just so you know. So it wasn't my dream to own a real estate company. It's kind of weird because I'm all about dream boards and what do you focus on, what you think about, you ring about, all that good stuff. But my intention was always to be self-employed. But did I realize that it was going to be real estate? No. So one day I went to Keller Williams and I was actually a part owner of a small office in Pittsburgh called Northwood. They were a family-owned company, been around like 35 years, and I had a percentage of that office. And a Keller Williams agent in our area came to me and said, I'm going to retire in about 5 years. I'm interested in seeing if you will join with me so that you can maybe take over, buy me out in a couple of years. So I took that ownership and I went to Keller Williams, and it was not the truth. So it was a recruiting tactic that was actually very good. So when it came time to the fact that we're going to actually partner up and, and move this to the next level, it really was not her intention. So at that point, I met this guy who actually I met him at Keller Williams, and we were talking, and he went through the same thing that I did the year prior. The same Keller Williams agent came to him and said, "Hey, I'm looking to retire, and this is my intention." Well, again, same exact scenario. Here I am, here he is. And he said, "Are you ever interested in starting your own company?" I said, "Not at all. I'm actually thinking of moving. I'm going to move south because I'm ready for something different." I wasn't fulfilled at all. I love real estate, but there was just something missing for sure. So he said, "Would you come with me to Lancaster? Because that's where the regional for Realty One was." And I'm like, "Not interested." So he went by himself, came back, and he said, "Would you just take a look at it?" So my husband and I went with him to Lancaster. And while I was there, I thought, oh my gosh, this is a really good opportunity to disrupt a market that's been the same for 100+ years in Pittsburgh. It's the same big box companies, and there's just no disruptor. And so I had butterflies. I can remember having butterflies in my belly thinking, it wasn't even so much the idea of owning a real estate company. It was the fact that we're going to own a real estate company that was different than everyone else, coming in with a model that had never been really marketed there. There were a couple of companies, small companies that were just one-ofs in the whole United States that offer a little bit better, splits and stuff to the agents, but we could offer something completely different. We could give them the full package and give them more money in their pocket. And we shook it up. I'm going to tell you, the first year, those big companies, they did everything they could to try to stop us, turn us into the state, turn us into the multi-list. Every time you turn around, threatening this, threatening that, telling people we didn't have things like escrow accounts. I mean, you can't open a real estate company without an escrow account, but they said we didn't. In fact, the point is something that someone said to Mike, "I heard you guys charge for questions, $25 a question." So, I mean, we would be both really rich if that was the case, because we've had a lot of questions in the last 4 years, but they'll do anything they can to stop us. And they didn't. And we persevered through that, and it was not easy, I can tell you, but it was fun, and we made it look fun. And it was hard still, So I don't know. It's been a crazy 4 years. I can't even tell you how we got here. We just kind of believed that we would and we would push through. But my intention wasn't this. It wasn't to start a real estate company. So now we're a real estate company, mortgage company, title, insurance, and we're one-stop shop for the consumer, which it makes it easy. So that's a little bit about that.
So you're 4 years in with the company.
Yeah.
And when did you open your additional companies, your ancillary? I need saying ancillary services because really they're their own services and they're companies that could run.
Yeah, I say in-house companies. I did the same thing. I would say ancillary, or whatever. I can't even talk yet. So I would do the same as you. And now I just use in-house because I figure, but we're really not in-house. We can do mortgages and title and insurance for anybody now in Pennsylvania. So we actually opened our mortgage in Maryland and Florida too. So we're going to be opening up in both states, which is
why Maryland?
One of our partners, we have a partner there. He has a lot of friends there from Deep Creek down in Maryland. So he wanted it. We're going to open that up next.
That makes sense. So you opened up the others. When did that start?
So for years 1, 2, 3, we had affiliates. So other companies would come in and they would work with our agents, and we did that for the first 3 years. So we opened Motto. It's been a year since we actually signed the franchise agreement, but we didn't open until June till we had our LO come over. So we've only been open for 8 months, and with Motto. We opened in February of last year, and that was our 3rd year. And then the Gold Standard closings, we've been working on that for about 2 years. So it's crazy, and we have partners in 2 of the entities. We have a partner in Motto, Mike, myself, and Greg, and then in our closing company we have Mike, myself, and Jen, who is also our broker of record. We're all partners, and then Mike and I own. We insure ourselves.
A lot of spinning plates.
Yeah, I do love owning franchises, though. I do think that's made a big difference. Having kind of the template to go off of. It's expensive to have a franchise, but if it was just Mike and Dionne Real Estate, I don't think we would be where we are today. I think we needed that to start, and it's been great. The beginning of it was tough because Realty One wasn't even in a position to handle the kind of growth that they had. And so when we first started, it was kind of like we fended for ourselves and we made a lot of things up. And they realized that, but I think we were number 104, and there's over 365, I think now. But the growth, watching Realty One grow as a company has been tremendous, and the things that we have to offer are really cool. So now we have a product, and if it was just us, we would have had to make everything up and figure out how to do all the things that we're learning through Realty One. So I do like the franchise model, and I even look sometimes on what's my next adventure, and would it be another franchise? I think I would do it again in another industry because I like the idea of that. And I think it kind of takes me back to where I started when I first started working at McDonald's. So, seeing that idea of how McDonald's grew and how, it's incredible. Like if you just have Dionne's hamburger shop, it would take me forever to be successful like McDonald's, right? But now they have this model, and it goes over and over and over and over again, and it just makes it easier for ordinary people, to become very successful.
They have a business, standards, process, procedure, formula to equal success.
Exactly.
I have a franchise guy. That's all he does is sell franchises. If you're interested in meeting him.
Cool.
He does like 100. He does over 100 and some franchises.
Wow, that's so cool. It's an interest. I look at it all the time, thinking, what could be the next thing? First, I want to get these 4, really, really running on all cylinders. And I think the real estate side, we have a good core of our staff is really good, so that's been super helpful. We're also doing entrepreneurial operating system (EOS), and we've started that in. So we think we started October, November. So it's been 4 months, and I can't even tell you the differences that's making in our core staff and where we're at right now. I can imagine a year from now what that looks like, but we're actually creating many departments inside our company. So we're like a big company, but we're not there yet, but we look like it on paper. So we're growing into that. And the way that we're breaking down each individual role, and there's department heads, and it's just interesting. I don't know if you know Jen Carrasco, if you ever met her before, but she's been coming out. She comes out once a month, and we spend an entire day working on our company, our vision, where we're going. It's just incredible. I love the entrepreneur operating system.
Where's she out of?
She's out of California, but she flies in with us. And do you remember Floyd Wickman from Sweat Hogs?
Of course.
Okay, so his son, Gino, created this system called Entrepreneur Operating Systems.
Yes.
So
I'm familiar with Traction and
Traction. Yep. And putting it in action, Traction in action it's cool because it's just, again, it's another plan, right? A process and a plan. And if you're an entrepreneur, you just don't know. I've watched it myself as an example. I started a graphic design company. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to use QuickBooks. I didn't know how to do the taxes. I had to learn all of that on my own. But with something like this, we actually get the pieces that we need. And having this in our company, I think will change who we are and will strengthen us because of EOS. It will be a stronger company.
I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
It's something that I would love to implement before the end of the year. Start with it.
Yeah, I would love to. If you don't know anyone, Jen is amazing, and she's just so, she's compassionate yet tough, and she's got quite a mix of personality. She's awesome. So she's really passionate about EOS, like we are about real estate.
Well, you need everybody, right, to make things move forward. So what is the biggest challenge that you're facing today?
So for me, it's always the roller coaster ride of real estate. There's never the 100% stability of it. It's always, January is normally slow. February, you still have even as an independent agent versus a company, the same roller coaster, right? We're still going through the same.
January was a tough month for us.
Yeah, it's been tough for us because we have only had 2 days since the beginning of the year that our entire staff has been there. We only have 7 people.
Oh, okay. So I'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
We have not had an entire staff complete since Thanksgiving.
Are you kidding me?
No, like in this week, so I told you one of Francis is out training. So we have not had everybody on site since Thanksgiving, because right after Thanksgiving, people started to get COVID, and yep. Because now you're COVID, you could be out for 2 weeks. Like you could be sick for 2 weeks, right? So
yeah,
I mean,
I can't believe how much it's so hard. We need to be together, all of us, and so it's luckily. I swear, if it wasn't for our EOS and what we're doing and having people jump and help each other in roles, I don't know how we would be able to get through it. It's been tough. I've been away now for 12 days, and so that's hard enough as it is. And then right now we have one of our staff has COVID. The other one had surgery yesterday, and so we're just running on half cylinders, and we're still running, which is awesome. That we can do that. That just proves a lot about what we're doing, that we can still run.
Yeah, we're running. I don't think we're moving, but
we're running.
We're running in place.
Yeah.
Still in the same spot.
Yeah, here's the thing. That's what's fun about having the other businesses too. So you can at least have some gap fillers, right? So when real estate might be slow, even though they do work in conjunction, but knowing that you have mortgage and you have title and you have insurance gives you some hope when the roller coaster gets a little crazy.
Yeah, before, I guess maybe a year or so ago, I guess before really pandemic, I wasn't that, I don't want to say interested, but it wasn't in my radar really to start other companies. And then I figured out, what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. And so then it all started to come together. But it doesn't just happen. Like you get an idea, and then for me, it has to like ruminate,
Yeah.
marinate.
And
Then I'm like,
then you like
okay,
that Italian cooking.
yes, exactly. And then you figure, well, the time's going to go by anyway. Might as well start this now, even if it takes 6 months or 9 months or a year to get it off the ground.
It does take some time to do, but I think with what we're doing, it just makes so much sense for the consumer to know that, we kind of have everything in place if you need us, but if you don't, it's okay too. But, the amount of transactions that we're putting out for us, it makes sense to be a part of that. And, it just helps our agents because we can save their clients money and we can, it's congruent where everyone's working together. So I love what we're doing. I was against it a little bit at the beginning because I'm the warrior of the two partners. I'm the one that sits and thinks through everything. And Mike is like, everything's going to be fine. Just trust in it. And it's hard because we're so similar in many ways. But on that way, it's, I take all the heavy on my shoulders and he just does it. And he's the guy, I'm the girl. It's just so funny how it interacts. And it's crazy, but it's working. And, like right now he's been stepping up for me and I'm here with my parents and he's there doing it. And he has his own things going on. So I think that's a great balance that we may not have had at the beginning because we were new to it and new to each other. But now 4 years in, we're friends on top of the fact that we're business partners and it's helping a lot.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. What do you attribute that to? Have you worked on this together to get into the flow?
I mean, I think we have a good talk every couple of months that's kind of come to Jesus moment talk. And I think that helps a lot. I think we kind of both say what we really feel, and maybe we don't always do that on a daily basis. I think talking to people and coaching and mentoring, I remember talking to our old friend Sammy Knight, and he's like, you guys need to meet every week or every morning for 10 minutes, like giving us great tips on what we should do to make our partnership stronger. And I have to be honest, there's been times throughout it where the agents would get upset about things and come to me. So it's that mom-dad thing all the time. And that was difficult because mom said I could do it, but dad said no, or dad said, it's that same idea. And I think that everyone was looking at us in that way. And that's not exactly what we want as leaders, to be the mom and dad, right? So we have to be better leaders. And I think coaching and, in the groups that we've been in, working with Chap Black, working with Stuman's group, like it's helped us a lot to be around people to realize that we can delegate, we can do things better, we can do things like EOS that are strength in our company. We need to do things that are better for us so that we can share that with our agents. And Mike and I need to be a force together. And I think it's taken some time because just like a marriage or a relationship, you have to build on that. And so I think that our building, that's where we're at right now. And we're doing good. We have, our spouses are very supportive, and that surely helps.
Well, that's a big difference between being able to move things forward and feel like somebody has your back than, what are you doing? You're still working? When are you coming home? What's going on? Kind of attitude, which is tough. It's tough. It's tough to do that, especially a woman in business. Do you find that being a woman in business today is still a difficult challenge, Dionne?
I actually never look at it that way. I just don't. I feel like I'm successful because of myself, and I don't look at it because I'm a woman that makes me any different. I'm a hard worker, and I'll put in the time. I'll do it. I remember Jason, my husband, will say, "I've never seen anybody that can work as much as you. Like I may not be doing physical labor, but I can put in some time." And as I get older, and I'm 53 now, and do I want to continue at that pace? I don't. And I want to enjoy my life. And things like this last week with my parents, even makes me realize that more. So that's why building a foundation of people that you can trust, that can have your back, that will be there doing it when you need to be away or when you want to go away. Like I was always afraid of that. So I think being a woman has affected me. No, I think it's actually helped me I do. I think in an industry where there are more women than men, I think there's a lot of support from other women realtors. And, most of my friends have supported and joined our company. Some of them haven't, and that's okay because that's their choice, because we all get to make that choice. But I think that it's helped me a lot. So, I mean, I think sometimes the whole man-woman thing with me and Mike, there's a time when, he'll talk to an agent, but then I'll come in and close the deal because I'm the closer. I am the closer.
So everybody has their part.
Yeah, so he's good at talking. I'm not as great a talker as he is, and we always laugh about that because I'll be like, "You go in for the 2-hour talk, and I'll just come in at the end and get it done." Because I swear, we get in some appointments. One time we went on this listing appointment together, and I was ready to kick him. I'm like, I'm ready to go. And he's just talking. I'm like, I've never been on a listing appointment that lasted for 2 hours in my entire 17 years. And so it was fun because it's just, we have a good dynamic like that.
That is a long listing appointment, but I have unfortunately been there when I was trapped and could not escape.
I find escape routes. I just can't do it.
Early on in my career, I would sit there and I think sometimes people would just have me over just to have company. Just for someone. No, just for somebody to talk to. I'm serious.
I mean, you're right. I think there's a lot of people like that, and I love that. But when it's down to, I just can't sit still that long. So I just have too much energy, and I can't sit that long.
So, what do you look for when bringing people into your company or agents into your firm? What are some of the key traits that you're like, this is what I look for with somebody who would be a good match?
Independence. Someone that doesn't need babysat. One thing about our model is we have full support, but we have a lot of people because we're a transaction-based company, so we need transactions. So we have some agents that have come in and have just been a wrong fit. Ethics are important. I think we want some good, solid people, and we made some mistakes. We hired some people that we should not have, not knowing, because interviews are great. Mike and I are really bad at interviewing. So when we have our staff step in, there's a point. I actually learned from Deb Beagle a little bit of interviewing process to help us a lot. But we were just like, oh yeah, we'll hire anyone, and then we have to fire them. So I think a good person, family person, someone that believes like we do. I think that's important. Treats other people kindly. I mean, you can see a lot about a person and how they treat others. That's what we'd always tell our staff. If it wasn't for the agents, you wouldn't be here. They can't walk all over you, but you have to treat them with respect. Even if you're upset with them, you have to be respectful. So I guess we want as many good people as we can, but we don't need them all. So there's 8,000 realtors in Pittsburgh. We don't need nor want them all. We want the ones that want to work hard to build a dream. We want to change their lives. And I think that that's something that's the most enjoyable part of Realty One Group Gold Standard, is watching what we're doing and helping other people grow. And when they get the things that they want, or they hit the goals, or they, pay off a loan, or they do something with their family, and they attribute that to what they're doing here, for me, is the greatest part of this company. And I love to see that success. And we've had agents, come in their first, second year, just crushing it. And we're part of that because we're putting them through a mentor program and helping them learn. We're just not throwing them out there on the street or putting them in a room with 30 people and everybody learning so that 25 of them drop off in 2 years. So we want them to be successful, and we offer so many training courses, support. We have outside people coming in. We have social media from the outside. Like Realty One has an incredible training platform, but we're offering more than just what they do. We have business coaches come in, and we have a coach in Atlanta, Georgia. Her name is Donna Stott. She teaches once a month a class for everyone. We have Brittany Crossan, who is a social media expert. She's coming for 4 months in a row, teaching them how to pick the best platform, and then what to do on each platform, and how to use Canva and the things that they need to be successful. So we're trying to do stuff like that to keep them relevant, because we do realize that as as the internet and the things that the technology takes over even more with real estate, they have to know a little bit, and those that are behind may not survive it. So we're doing all of that. So, anyways, I
That's
want agents that are just stand up good people, and I swear to you, Maria, we are attracting them like crazy.
When you put the energy out there, the universe will find a way to make it happen, right?
Absolutely, and it's definitely working.
So I have a question I like to ask. What did you have to overcome to get to where you are today?
A lot. There's so much stuff. We would be on here for the rest of the week, but mostly deservability has been a big thing for me, and even through all the coaching and mindset that I do, and I actually have a Think and Grow Rich mastermind that I do once a month. I've been doing that for 5 years. I know better, but then I still get to that point where my mind shifts backwards to, oh my gosh, what are we going to do if we don't have enough money to pay the bills? Or what are we going to do? What, and Mike's not like me. We're different like that. He believes that it's all going to work. And not that we don't have to work to get there, but my belief is different. And therefore, I get back into that old mindset of I don't deserve to be successful. And what makes me think that I should be more successful than anyone else. So that creeps in. I'm better at it now of getting it out, but it's still there. So that's been one of the biggest things for me to overcome. And it's hard because I didn't grow up with a lot. In fact, we were laughing here, my parents and I. We lived in this little trailer park, and me and my sisters had one bedroom that's probably half the size of the kitchen that I'm sitting in until I was 18. We had one closet and one dresser and 3 girls. And we lived there until I was 18. So when I need motivation, I'll take a drive down that street and I'll look at that and think I just don't want to go back there, so that helps me get out of it. But it doesn't mean that it's still not there. And if I could 100% get rid of that, I think I could catapult. But I got to keep working on it. And that's why we join mastermind groups. And that's why we're around people that are way more successful than we are. Like me sitting here with you, you're immensely successful. And it's huge. And when you asked me to be on your show, I'm like, oh my God, absolutely. I would do anything. I want to be around people like you because you make me better. And the only way I'm going to get where I need to go is I got to get this 100%.
Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know about we all. I have the same thing sometime. I woke up at 4 a.m. in a panic, in this puddle of sweat.
I get you.
In a panic. And then I'm like, okay, calm down. Then I say a prayer. Then I say another prayer. And then my husband's like, you're like cocooned in the blankets. Yes, because it's safety. I cocoon myself. Anyway, I can appreciate what I'm joking, but not joking. I can appreciate what you're saying, and I understand, and it is something that we have to figure out and be able to work through, because otherwise it's going to hold back, right? It's going to hold back. So it's like, it might sound a little crazy, but have you ever heard of tapping?
I have heard of it. I heard of it, and it's been a long time since I even thought about it, to be honest with you.
I had it years ago. You can have somebody do it on you. You don't have to do it yourself if you don't want to.
Okay.
But it was something that really helped me, and it cleared a lot of whatever for some other issues. And once it goes away, it releases. It never comes back.
Maybe I need to get some.
I had a lot of things that I had to work through, and I had this done about. Thinking that's why I'm like 12 years ago, maybe.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and I would go once a week to this woman, and it was crazy. I would take off all my clothes and lay on the thing, and she would put a sheet on top of me, and she would go around and do all this stuff, and I would release all these emotions.
It probably wouldn't hurt to have that, because with all this happened since COVID and all the emotions that have changed in people. And just watching people be so sick, and honestly, I'm to the point on social media that I just get on there just to post and get right back off, because every single post is so sad and negative that it's starting to become like the news, where it's just pure negativity.
Oh,
And
you have to
it's
change your algorithm. My whole entire feed is success. Everybody's having success.
good, but I'm going to have to change some things, because I really am like to the point like,
I have no negativity. I'm actually I was looking, is there anything bad going on? Because everybody's doing good.
Nice. Yeah, so that's what must be happening, because it's just so much, and I don't want to live in that world. Like in my mind, like I want to live in a Hallmark movie, and that's there. Hence the Christmas store, and
Yeah.
my house that fits right in there. But I know that that's not real. But I love the idea of kindness and happiness, and success. I love success, and I love money, and I want all of it. So I'm the only person that stops me from getting there.
Well, that's like a good part of it. I mean, not a good part, but that's the part that it's really good to know that you are the only person that can change that, right? So it's like pick up the mirror and look in the mirror, because we're the only ones who are holding us back from whatever we want. Did I lose you? Dionne?
Hi.
Hi, I lost you for a second there. Dionne. It's always great during the podcast when this happens and when we lose our guest. Dionne? Well, it's been great talking to Dionne this morning. I wish Dionne the best. It's been a great episode. Thank you for sharing time with us, Dionne. I look forward to seeing you soon at one of these masterminds. And I am thankful and grateful for the time that you shared with us today.
Thank you so much. It kind of cut out for a minute. Did you miss that? Did you see that?
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you
So
were
anyway,
you were
yeah,
gone for like a couple minutes, so I
yeah,
didn't.
yeah. All right, cool. So, anyways, all right. So I missed the last like 2 minutes of everything. So.
Oh, okay. So I was just thanking you for being on
No, you're welcome.
because of the delay.
Oh, no worries. But I appreciate you having me on. It's nice. It's
It
nice to.
was I'm thankful and grateful for your time. I really appreciate it. I wish you the best, and
Thank
I look
you.
forward to seeing you real soon.
Me too. All right, take it easy. And if you need anything, call me anytime. Bye, Maria.